Start whenever you want.
Are we live?
We are live.
Are we doing the intro song again or no?
No.
Okay.
Copyright strike last time.
Did we? All right then. Well,
I had to turn it down.
dude, I don't know what's going on. Well, I don't know what's going on with this mic right now. Just
on.
What's up? How's it going? Welcome back to the Halfcourt podcast. This is Noah back with Mike. Week 2. I guess we missed a week last week, but you know what? That's fine.
We did 2 last week though, so.
Yeah, 2 for 1. So we got an action-packed lineup today. We're gonna be talking about Zion. We're gonna be talking about the All-Star starters were just announced today. So we're gonna be talking about who we think is gonna be on the reserves. Talking about trade rumors, about Derrick Rose, and then just some more specific things like the Trailblazers and what they need to do to help Dame out, and then things like Kyrie. So.
Let's talk about the Cubs getting traded to the Mavs.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that honestly. But, all right, cool. So jumping right into it, I'm talking about Zion because, I mean, what else is there to talk about in the NBA world right now? I know he had a second game tonight. I think he had 15 points or something, which honestly was, not as good as his first game. But, yeah, that was an unreal performance that he...
17 points in 3 minutes?
Yeah.
4 threes, 4 for 4, more than Ben Simmons in his whole career.
I mean, did you watch the game or no?
What?
Did you watch the game?
No, I did not watch the game.
I watched the first half, and I was like, oh, Zion's got 2 points. I think it was 2 or 5 points or something like that. And I was like, okay, well.
The only reason why I couldn't watch it is because NBA League Pass is a blackout for 90% of the games now.
That's why you watch it on Sportsnet.
Yeah, but
it's free. But yeah, like that. I mean, you just go on YouTube and search those 3 minutes. It was kind of electric watching it, but his shooting form is atrocious, though. It's one of the worst things I think I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah, I'm gonna work. We need 4 times, bro.
Yeah, it's not. Is that not probably gonna work for?
His second game, he had 15, 6, and 0 on 7 for 9 shooting, 1 for 4 from free throw, and 0 for 1 from 3, with a steal and a block.
7 for 9 is not bad. I'll take those percentages. But the thing with me is, Brandon Ingram's been playing so well for the Pelicans throughout the entire season. Do you think he's going to continue those numbers, or do you think he's going to do his points per game is going to decline a little bit now that Zion's back, or because he's my pick for most improved player right now. He's just been hooping recently. So
I hate that he's not the number 1 option anymore. I feel like Zion and Drew gotta make it a 3-headed monster now. Used to be just him.
Dude, that team's scary though. You look at when everyone's now that everyone's gonna be back, Lonzo's been kind of having his best couple weeks he's had in his whole NBA career.
Lonzo Ball has been balling.
Shut up! Oh my God! But yeah, so you mix Zion into that, and it's gonna be a it's gonna be a while. Do you think they're gonna be a playoff team?
Well, they're not that far out right now, are they?
I think they're 3 games out right now, I believe.
Yeah, they're
But
4.5 right now. Because Memphis just keeps winning games for some reason. I thought that was some point too.
But I can see their record's currently 17-29, which isn't great. But then again, the Grizzlies are the 8th seed, and they're still 3 games below 500.
True.
So I don't see the top 7 any of those teams falling out. Maybe except for the Thunder, but I mean, I think at this point we kind of understand that the Thunder are a real threat. But I mean, I can see him making the playoffs if Zion can stay healthy, which I think is still a bit of a risk. But I guess we'll just have to wait and see as time goes on.
Wiggins had 28 today.
28?
Maybe he wasn't fluky. Wow.
Yeah, I can't take Andrew Wiggins seriously as a good NBA player. I can't.
Well, 2 weeks ago, he averaged 25.7 points per game. Now he's averaging 22.6. So he's kind of falling off a little bit.
22 is still good for Andrew Wiggins, though. If you told me this time last year that he was going to be averaging 22, I would have told you you're crazy.
True.
But
Anyway, back to the team we were actually talking
yeah, back to the Pelicans. Sorry, tangent. I can totally see them making the playoffs, even though Memphis is playing well, and all the talk about Zion being like, oh, can he come back in the Rookie of the Year race? No, he can't.
No, it's too late.
It's literally, even if he averages like 30.
Like a minimum 50 games anyway.
Yeah.
They're already 47 games or something in.
And that'd be like worst case scenario if like all the other rookies are playing like absolute trash.
Or you'd have to average like 30 a night, which is not going to happen.
No. I think Jaw's got to unlock. Anyways, moving on to our next topic here. The first ever NBA game in Paris just actually happened tonight, or I guess earlier today, with the Milwaukee Bucks coming out on top 116-103 against Charlotte. I found it a weird choice. I understand why they chose Milwaukee to go, because Giannis is an international guy who is becoming one of the NBA's biggest superstars. But the Hornets, out of all the teams they could have chosen,
I feel like did they make this thing last year when Kemba still played for them?
I wouldn't. But even Kemba, like, especially for France, like there's a lot. Like Utah, Rudy Gobert.
True, France.
Like I could in there. It's not like they're a bad team either, right? Like I think that'd be a fun matchup to watch. Like
the only reason they went there is because Batum. That's it. Only reason.
And the other thing I was thinking of is like Tony Parker played for them last year, but he doesn't even play for him anymore.
Yeah.
So
By
I
the
don't.
way, what the heck was he wearing?
Whew. Yeah, I don't know if you guys saw that. He was wearing like some like he was like a brown leather jacket and like a huge scarf. I was like, bro, what are you doing? I was like, who told you that was the one? I want to know who told you the one.
You know who it wasn't?
Who?
Easy
Who? Oh my god. Josh, speaking of like, this is another bit of a tangent, but do you see what JJ Redick said about like pre-game fit pics and everything on Instagram? He was like trashing the young guys. He's like, I can't remember what the exact quote was, but he said something like, these like young guys are like more worried about getting like a fit off pre-game than actually winning the game, which I think is true. I can't really complain about that. Like, yeah, totally.
Oh yeah, let's go back to the game though. Let's talk about some stats from the game.
Sweet.
Malik Monk outscored Giannis, which is weird to even think about.
Giannis had 30, I think.
Monk had 31.
Dang.
Did not play out completely though, because
Because it's Giannis, and Giannis is unstoppable.
What else?
Devontae Graham continues to surprise me.
Yeah, 9 points. The only thing that confuses me is that his shooting numbers are so bad.
Oh, I saw he was shooting like 34% for the month of January or something, like really, really bad.
His 3-point percentage is why he's getting all these points. He's shooting like, what, 40% from there?
Yeah.
Something stupid like that.
He's still a young guy, though. I think it was pretty. I think everyone kind of knew that he was gonna kind of mellow out a little bit as the year went on, but I can still see him having a bright future in the league because he's only I think he's like 21 or something, 21, 22, maybe something like that. Pull that up quick as we talk about a few more stats. Chris Middleton only averaged 14 or had 14 tonight on 35 minutes. Bledsoe with 20, 25 and 3.
God, Bledsoe's so inconsistent.
He really is.
Like
if you could not even like averaging like 20, but if you could average like a solid like 15 a night, but like there weren't any nights where you only averaged like 2, but there weren't any nights where you got like 30. If you could just have like 15 every single night, this Bucks team would go so far. It's kind of frustrating. But I don't know. I think, and also the game being in Paris, I'm kind of surprised it's the first one ever, honestly, because Paris is a big market. You'd think for the NBA. There's a lot of French players in the league right now.
Especially with Tony Parker coming in like 18 years ago-ish or something.
Yeah, that's the other team I thought maybe the Spurs would have been the team instead of the Hornets.
True,
because you would think there's a lot of French basketball fans who are Spurs fans because of Tony Parker. I don't know. It was just a weird choice to me, but I'm sure they had their reasonings.
Maybe we could have put the Knicks, who was Neil King, or we can put.
But they're also the Knicks.
Put the Magic.
They're also the Knicks, though.
Magic with Evan Fournier.
Yeah. All I'm trying to get at is it should not have been the Hornets.
Shout out to Nicholas Batum.
Shout out Nick Batum.
For being absolute ass.
Shout out Nick Batum. dropping a massive 5 points in 34 minutes tonight.
What is he averaging?
Do you know Jared Dudley's only averaging 1 point a game?
Man, you get that fucking insane third quarter buzzer beater.
Yeah.
That's one.
But no, think about that. How are you going to be an NBA player? And he gets decent minutes, too, with 1 point a game. Like, that three he made tonight, he could not score again for the next 2 games, and he would continue to have the same PPG. It's wild.
I want you to guess Nicholas Batum's numbers right now.
Oh, God. Can you give me, like, a ballpark range? Because I actually have no idea. Give me, like a range, like, between, like...
To be fair, he's played 22 games and he has 3 starts.
Okay. I'm going to say, like... 10?
No, less.
Less?
It's
7?
gonna blow your mind.
7?
I'll give you one more guess.
Is it lower than...
Lower than 7.
4?
No, he's averaging 3.6 points, 3 assists, and 4.5 rebounds.
Whoa. Yeah, what? What? Are you... Wait, what?
I'm not even kidding either. It's like actually...
How many minutes is he playing tonight?
23.
So that man's just out there running. He's not doing anything. And he's making $21 million a year.
Average 3 points.
He's just running. He's just getting some cardio out there.
Oh, yo, he had his... Probably a season.
He had 5 tonight. That's what I'm saying.
He had his averages today. Over his averages. Tyree Rozier continues to be a decent asset for them.
Yeah, like he's a good player. He just was overpaid as all hell over the off season.
What are you averaging? Man, you just scored 31 points and you still only averaging 9 points a game.
But yeah, so I'm glad to see the game growing globally though. It should be interesting to see how that progresses and see what other cities get.
Just waiting for Seattle to get that approval for a team.
Honestly, I wish Vancouver got a team too. That'd be the dream. Hashtag Calgary.
Gonna bring it up every single.
All right. You have anything else to talk about? You want to talk about what the Paris games this year? The only thing that I think, one little point that I want to bring up is like, I feel even though they do give guys like a lot, like the teams like a lot of games off before it and afterwards, but like I feel like that would just mess everything up for like the rest of the season. Like having to go, I think it's like 7 hours or something, different time zones, be there for a couple days and have to come back. Like be there for a couple days, adjust to that, play a basketball game, then come back, have a couple days off, readjust. Like that's got to be tough.
My question is, this is a stupid question, but do you think the reason why Zion didn't have an amazing rookie season was because he was adjusting to being from Greece and coming to America?
Do you mean Giannis?
Who did I say?
Zion.
Yeah.
I was like, he's played 2 games.
Giannis, right.
No, I think honestly Giannis was just like, I think the reason why the Bucks drafted him just because he was a physical god. He wasn't like if you look back even when in his time in Greece, he was not a good basketball player. Like at the time, he was just not a good basketball player. What's that face you're making right now?
DCU beef going down.
Oh, things just going down in this group chat here. Are you gonna cut this part out? I hope.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yes, well, you're still creeping louder for those. Dang.
He dropped out of the program. He's not even in our program anymore. He's still in the group chat. So shout out to O'Reilly.
Shout out the man, the myth, the legend. All right, moving on. Talking about with All-Star Weekend coming up soon, the All-Star starters were announced yesterday.
Let me see if I can remember them off the top of my head.
I can remember the West. Can't. Actually, you do the West. I'll try and see if I can remember the East.
West is easy though. It's LeBron, Luka, Harden, Anthony Davis, and Kawhi Leonard.
And then the East is Trae Young, Pascal Siakam's on there, Embiid, Giannis. Who's the other guard? It's not Jimmy Butler. I feel like it should be Jimmy Butler.
We're talking about him earlier.
I'm drawing a blank right now. I actually have no idea. Kemba, yeah. Sorry, I try and erase all Celtic memories from my mind as often as possible.
It's hard to not like Kemba
It really is, but I can because I'm a Laker fan.
So I
So
give you the white microphone. The other one's you must have the green one.
so one thing we can do here is go in with like the theme of like the draft or sort of draft ranking thing that we did last week. Do you want to do a kind of mock draft for the All-Star game
Sure.
for this year?
Do you want to be Team LeBron and I'll be Team Giannis?
Sure.
Okay.
Who's drafting first? I think it's LeBron because he had more votes. Or you want to do rock paper scissors?
It's always LeBron. So LeBron.
No, let's do rock paper scissors. Rock. Oh. Damn. All right. Well, Team Giannis is going first, I guess.
Team Giannis needs another foreign player on the team. So my first pick, I'm gonna go with Luka Doncic.
All right, solid choice. Am I picking what I think should happen or what I think LeBron's going to pick? Because LeBron's obviously going to pick Anthony Davis.
Yeah, so let's just go with the starters first, obviously. Pick who we want, technically.
Oh, yeah.
Let's just make our own mock draft for fun.
Okay.
I guess we should give an analysis, too. Luka Doncic has been amazing this year.
Wait, so do you want to draft with the captains in the pool as well if it's not just like Team LeBron and Team Giannis?
No, we can just make a Team LeBron, Team Giannis.
All right.
I'll let you have LeBron, it's fine.
I mean, I probably would have picked LeBron over Giannis anyways.
Yeah.
Who would I want? You already picked Luka?
We picked Luka.
I was gonna say James Harden, but like I don't know how well James Harden. I mean, it's also a fantasy kind of game though. I would love to see Trae Young and LeBron together though.
That would be cool.
That'd be insane. So like, just kind of for the fun of it, I'm gonna go with Trae Young.
Okay. I guess I'm gonna take these easy. Let's prepare.
You wanna pick Pascal Siakam, your boy, or like Joel Embiid? That's a solid choice. Or Kemba.
Okay, so I want Kawhi. I want to pick Kawhi.
Take Kawhi. It's a solid pick. What could have been with LeBron, Kawhi, and AD? R.I.P. R.I.P. the dream.
He was never going.
Honestly, with the second pick, I am gonna pick AD because I just think, even in like a fantasy game, LeBron and AD are so much fun to watch on a nightly basis. So, boom. So Luke is off the board, Anthony Davis is off the board, Kawhi is off the board, and who else is off the board? Someone else is off the board. AD, Luka, Kawhi, and Trae Young. Third round.
The fact that we picked our first two picks.
We're second year guys.
And get traded for each other.
That's actually crazy. How they're both averaging like
28 again.
Yeah. And they were not even the fact that they were just in the same draft class, but they were traded on draft night for one another.
Imagine if our teammates during this All-Star game. I could see it. That'd be crazy.
That would be insane.
Alright.
I could see it happening too.
I'm gonna pick Spicy P now. I ain't picking it now.
You're not messing around.
No, I ain't.
I'm going James Harden. Because James Harden is the epitome of a All-Star game player.
The thing about James Harden though is that Westbrook has been the guy.
Westbrook's been better than him for the past like week and a bit. Shot 1 for 17 or something the other night.
Like tonight, Russ had 43 or 47 or something at 13, and James Harden had 15.
Yeah, James Harden needs to get it together. He's just such a volume shooter though. Like if he gets cold, like even though yes he does assist, he does rebound, he does do those kind of intangible things. But I feel like if he's not scoring, that's such a big piece from his game. Like at least Russell Westbrook, when he's not scoring, he's still gonna be that hustle guy. He's still gonna like go for every loose ball like that. Whereas James Harden, I'm not saying he's a one-dimensional player, but like if he's not scoring, then defenses can kind of just forget about him.
Alright, so my last one will go with Kemba. You can have Joel. I don't want him.
Yeah. Joel Embiid and AD though. But think about this lineup: Trae Young, James Harden, Braun, AD, and Joel Embiid. Who's stopping Joel Embiid and AD on that team? Who?
Spicy P.
Spicy P. Okay, Kawhi can lock up, but you're saying Siakam can guard Embiid. No.
There's also no defense in this game anyway.
True. Teams over under that's gonna be like a 400-point game. I don't know.
Probably. So now basically it's a free for all after that, and you can pick whoever you want.
Ooh, are we doing reserves as well?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well I gotta prepare for this then. We gotta whip up some stats here real quick. Can we cut this part too?
No.
All right then, cool.
Probably won't even cut the DCM part.
All right, well, why not? One take. Who cares? Shout out our 10 viewers.
We
Reserves.
have 400 followers on Twitter right now, but none of them go to the actual views on YouTube.
Yeah, I gotta step up my my Twitter game.
I put your Twitter on our.
I gotta start tweeting. I have like 20 followers 'cause I just don't use it.
I added your Twitter handle onto the
Did you?
BBB account.
All right, who are we thinking? I think. Do I get the first pick for the bench because you had the first pick for?
Yes.
Okay, this is such a homer pick, but like I'm gonna do it anyways. I'm picking Damian Lillard.
I thought you were gonna pick Caruso. I was like, you freaking weirdo.
Oh, I would. No,
Okay,
Damian Lillard. Damian Lillard has been unreal these past couple of games, but as we'll get to later in the podcast, he has zero help around him. But that's a topic for later on.
It's my bench player.
The thing with guys that are like Rudy Gobert and like those guys, like yeah, they're good players, but like
They're defensive players in the All-Star game.
yeah, you just don't want to see those guys in the All-Star game.
All right, I'm gonna go with Karl Anthony Towns. I think
Okay.
he's been very solid, even though he's been injured for most of the year. I still think he's been very solid for the Wolves. Team just can't win games. Holy crap, they're so inconsistent.
Yeah.
But they can't win games. They started off the year really good, so maybe they'll get back on track when the Cat's fully healthy back. But
we hope he's fully healthy at least.
Well, the thing with me, why did they trade Jeff Teague?
That was a dumb trade. We'll talk about that later when we're talking about like kind of trade, like the trade deadline and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, just like off the rip, that was a stupid trade for him. They got Lily. Who they got back? I can't even remember. It was nobody near as good as Jeff Teague.
Oh, it was Alan Crabb.
Yeah. It's like why would you think that's a good trade? I think they gave up a pick too. I might be wrong there. Like a second.
I gave up Graham Teague and like a second.
Yeah.
Crab. No.
Talk about an overpay.
Well, it's like you already have like what 4 shooting guards on your roster. I know you want to start Jared Culver at point guard. I understand that part of it.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But like you have 4 shooting guards on your bench now.
Well, I also feel like at this point, like Jeff Teague's been in the league long enough. I think he understands that like to win a game, like to be on a winning team, like just because you want to start doesn't mean you're gonna start. Like I think if management came up to him and been like, listen, like we want you coming off the bench, you're still gonna be getting your minutes, but like you just won't be starting. I think you would have been fine with that.
Yeah, because like Shabazz Napier's been great this season.
Yeah. Like I just didn't see it solving any problems that the Timberwolves needed to solve. But I don't know.
Also, I just want to say, Karl Anthony Towns saying everywhere that he wants to stay for his whole career in Minnesota is such a lie. He does not want to stay there. I wouldn't be surprised if he's
Actually,
not.
you know what? Honestly, if he could figure out how to get D-Buck and or D'Angelo to Minnesota or both, he would stay. But that's the only way I see him staying.
Honestly, if I am the Timberwolves right now, I'm trying to trade Wiggins when his stock is super high for D'Angelo Russell right now.
Oh, absolutely. I would honestly throw in a pick too, because even though like that might be a bit of an overpay for D'Angelo, not only is that gonna secure Cat re-signing, but like that makes your team instantly better. Like
and then you learn. Well, okay, it's gonna be hard to trade for Devin. Obviously,
there's gonna be.
His 5-year deal or whatever.
And there's going to be zero defense on that team if the three of them play together.
You still got Robert Covington.
Yeah. But, all right, moving on to my second pick for the bench. I'm going MVP candidate out of South Beach, Jimmy Butler.
That was my next pick.
I think I had him starting, honestly.
I did too. I had him instead of Trae Young.
Yeah, I mean, I think Trae Young just got the kind of like the fan vote higher. I think if it had just been like players and GMs and everything, Trae Young probably would have been coming off the bench. But yeah, Jimmy's been hooping, man. He's been kind of unreal.
Alright, this one's gonna be a little weird. I'm gonna go with stats. I'm I'm gonna go with. You need to surround Giannis with shooters because he can't shoot for his life.
So you're picking Rudy Gobert.
So
Solid choice.
I'm picking Devin Booker. Go with Anthony Towns.
Okay. Any reason behind the pick, or just that you need shooters?
I just think that obviously they haven't been winning games recently, but I think the Suns have been a surprising team this year. And I think the reason it's happening is Devin Booker mainly. DeAndre Ayton's been good lately, and Oubre has been amazing all year. I just think that he's the leader of this team, and they're going to go as far as Devin Booker can take them. And he's averaging 27.
I mean, he's been the team in Phoenix for a while now. So, my guy, I was kind of debating whether to take Ben Simmons, just because I know LeBron's a huge Ben Simmons guy. But I'm gonna go with what I want, and I want Jokic. Jokic's such a multi-dimensional player. If you guys watched our top 50 ranking from a couple weeks ago, you know I raved about Jokic and how he's going to be a lot higher on that list for the next decade. But yeah, Jokic is just such a... I like watching him. He just if you saw him walking down the street, he just does not look like an NBA player at all. He just looks like he goes to McDonald's way too much, which I just absolutely love. It gives hope to the regular man, I'd say. But he still cooks people on a nightly basis. So, who you got?
My next pick. By the way, I just want to mention that Brandon Ingram's averaging the same as LeBron.
Yeah, but LeBron's still the GOAT, so like.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go Bradley Beal.
I'm surprised you haven't picked Kyle Lowry yet. Thought you were going with the Homer Raptor picks.
No, I'm not going to go with the Homer Raptor picks just yet. Also, I saw somebody on Facebook say that Fred VanVleet should deserve to go to the All-Star game, and I'm like, stop.
Fred Van, no.
He's averaging 17, which is like not bad, but like, come on.
He's having a good season, he's just not having an All-Star season, is the thing. My next pick, I gotta get another guy who is a big, because I already have Damian Lillard and Jimmy Butler as my backcourt. Yes, I'm playing Jimmy Butler as a shooting guard because I think that's his best position that he plays. Anyways, unrelated. I'm going with Paul George.
Fair enough.
Two-way player, super athletic. That's kind of exactly what you need or you want with the All-Star game. If you can break out another one of those like 360 windmill dunks that he had a couple of years ago, the fans will lose their minds. So yeah, Paul George.
Okay. My next pick is going to be...
Drum roll, please.
Patrick McCaw. Okay,
Patrick McCaw.
I'm going to go with...
But crazy story about Patrick McCaw while he decides on who he's picking. Since 1972-73, Patrick McCaw has 3 championships, and the New York Knicks have none. I just want the record to show that Patrick McCaw equals GOAT. Mike, is your pick in yet?
I'm gonna go with the boy who's from Chicago, Zach LaVine. Plays for the
Zach LaVine,
averaging 29 points per game, or 24 points per game. He's from Chicago, so he's gonna make it.
Zach LaVine.
He plays for Chicago, so he's gonna make it. And I just think that he's having a low-key good season.
Zach LaVine. Okay, whatever you say.
The thing with Zach LaVine is that he's played every game, and so many of these other players haven't.
Dude, that Bulls team is a disaster.
It is. It's not his fault.
It's absolutely not his fault. I'd say it's Boylan's fault more than anything. But my next pick. So I already got my point guard, my shooting guard, my center. So I'm going with a guy who can stretch the floor. I'll have him as my number 4, and that's going to be Domantas Sabonis. He's been a key part for that Pacer team. Able to stretch the floor once Oladipo comes back, and hopefully Oladipo doesn't take too many of his touches. But I think Sabonis is just one of those guys who you just need to be aware of at all times, and that's going to take pressure off of Oladipo. So he's definitely a guy you want on your team.
All right, I'm going to do it.
Alex Drusa?
No. I'm gonna pick Kyle.
K-Lau for the boys.
I just think he's the main reason this team is where they are. Like, without his 20 points per game, his bulldog mentality, his 7.4 assists per game, and just his general leadership in general, I don't think this team is at all where they are right now.
Yeah, like, I'd definitely say, like, Siakam is, like, the legs of the organization, but KLR is definitely the heart.
And Norm Powell is the spark.
Yeah.
Norm Powell. 17 this year.
Ooh, who else do I want? Well, it's up Paul George on my team. I forgot about that. I just was kind of going for, like, the third unit now, so it doesn't really matter. One guy I want to see in the All-Star game, I don't know how well he fits with the team I've made, but Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
This is another guy. He should.
Especially with Mike Conley being so bad and them being as good as they are.
Yeah. That Utah team is crazy, though.
That Utah team, if Mike Conley can get to where he was before, that team's a championship contender. They already are. But.
They already are, yeah.
All right, my next pick. You know what? Let's get BI in the All-Star game.
BI. I mean, he if anybody deserves a first-time nod that isn't Luka and Trey, I'd say it's BI. And Siakam. Okay, this is the last pick, right? I think this is the last round.
Yeah.
So we're grabbing another guy out of Miami. Bam Adebayo. That Heat team just caught me off guard this year. And, like, it really shouldn't have because, obviously, Jimmy Butler's a dog. Bam Adebayo was kind of always poised to have a good year, but I just don't think anybody really expected to have this good of a year. And then guys like Kendrick Nunn, Tyler Hero, the rookies, just igniting the fire that they needed. And this team also just seemed to be a fun group of guys to be around. They seem to have fun together. And so, yeah, obviously team chemistry is a huge thing for championship level teams, and I think they got that in spades. So, also, I'm going to have Mike kind of talk out of his ass for a little bit because I need to go get water. So, take it away, Michael.
I'm going to talk about a player here for a long time and take him when he comes back in. Actually, you want to give me a water too?
What's up?
Want to give me a water too?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks.
I need something to also prop the door open.
Should be a piece of wood by the door. You use my wallet? Alright, anyway. So my last pick, I'm going to go with somebody who I think, even though he might not deserve it fully, I think he's having a great year. He plays for the Celtics, so you know I was not going to like this pick when I picked him. But he's having a great bounce back year. Last year, obviously, hit problems with the being on the bench and being out of the lineup and back in the lineup all the time. He obviously didn't get along with Kyrie very much. And now he's playing unreal on both sides of the floor. And I just think that he's going to continue to be as good as he is all season and continue to be one of the best players on that three-headed monster of the Boston Celtics. No, it's not Jason Tatum. I think Jason Tatum, as much as he is playing well this year, I just think this other person is playing better. And I think that the fact that this other guy is so much better than Tatum on the defensive end of the floor makes him the better pick in this situation. And I think I'm going to go with Jaylen Brown here. I just think that he's been better of the two, in my opinion. And there's no other way to really look at it. He's averaging just 1 point below him, 0.1 assists below him, or rebounds below him, sorry. Only 0.5 assists lower. But, like, I just think that he's just all around a better player right now than Jason Tatum. And there's not a whole lot you can say. You can have both of them in, you can have one of them in. It doesn't really matter. I just think that one of the two guys deserve it, and I just think that Jaylen Brown deserves it more. Another person I did consider putting on this team was Chris Paul. Chris Paul was also a very good player throughout the year. He's been the whole entire rock of the organization. Doesn't work, does it?
Yeah, the vending machine was out of order. So
We'll go get that.
you hate to see that. Who are we talking about right now?
So I chose Jaylen Brown.
Okay.
What
are we talking about?
I talked about how I thought he was better than Jason Tatum this season, even though he's averaging less. I think his impact on both sides of the ball is just better than Tatum. I do think one of those two players should make it, But I think that.
But here's the thing. I agree with you, but Tatum's the more popular player. And I think even though people might want to vote for Jaylen Brown more, I think they're just... Sorry, excuse me. I just think they're going to vote Tatum in just because he's like the more prominent face for the league.
Yeah.
But no, I totally agree with you that Jaylen Brown's the better player this season at least.
Let's talk about some honorable mentions. Chris Paul.
Chris Middleton.
Shea.
I feel like also, as we kind of mentioned earlier, Rudy Gobert is an all-star level player. He's just not a guy who really fits into the all-star game. Did I draft Ben Simmons? So none of us took Ben Simmons. Okay, well, Ben Simmons is obviously going to be there.
I think he deserves it, though. I don't want Ben Simmons.
Yeah.
Can't shoot the ball.
But he can do everything else so well.
But he's a liability, though, when it comes to the playoffs.
Oh, he's definitely not a guy you want. He's like... I saw... I think it was like... I can't remember what account it was on Twitter. But they're basically saying, like... Ben Simmons, out of like all like the superstars in the league, is the guy you like least want to have the ball in his hands in like the final like minute. Like I'd have more confidence in like anybody else.
Well, they have Toby, they have Al Horford, they have Joel Embiid. Even then, I wouldn't trust Joel with it either.
I wouldn't trust Joel Embiid either. That's the thing with that Sixers team. Now that Jimmy Butler's gone, they just like don't have a guy who can close games.
I would trust Richardson over Simmons.
I would trust Tobias Harris over him too. That's what we're saying.
I'd trust Korkmaz over him.
I would trust Alex Caruso over. I don't know. Alex Caruso has become a meme on this podcast, but whatever.
I just think that once the playoffs come around and it slows down, and you have Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons both in the paint because Simmons can't shoot.
Well, and I've long said this. I think that to make that Sixers team work and to reach that NBA championship level, they either at least get Ben Simmons to shoot. He doesn't need to be great at them. He could shoot like 25-30%, but as long as he's consistently shooting them and making the defense come out on him, or they need to trade one of the two. And I see the latter happening more. I can see Ben Simmons getting moved for another guy who might not be as talented overall, but just a guy who can shoot the damn ball. Because like you see in the interviews with like the different coaches and players, like it's not that they don't want Ben Simmons shooting. They're asking Ben Simmons to shoot. They're like, Ben, like 1 or 2 a game. If you feel it, even if you're not like wide open, we just want you getting comfortable taking the 3. Don't worry about hitting them. Like we'll get your confidence up in practices. That's fine. And even then, he's taking none. So I think that's a huge red flag for that organization, that he's not even willing to listen to his coaches and teammates and fan base about what needs to be done to get that team over the level, because he's... I don't know what the problem is, but I think that is a huge concern for them.
We just talked about the fact that the Clippers have 4 players in the top 50 scorers in the league. You got Lou Will,
Montrezl Harrell, Kawhi, and Paul George. How much is Montrezl Harrell averaging? Do you have that up?
He's averaging 19.3. Lou Will's averaging 19.3.
That's the one thing that scares me. If the Clippers go up against the Lakers in the playoffs, is I think on a star basis, I'd take AD and LeBron over Kawhi and PG any day of the week. But that bench, man. Like, that bench is scary. The Lakers bench, I'd say, is solid, but we don't have a single guy who's in a 6 Man of the Year conversation. The Clippers got 2.
My only thing is that I think Dwight Howard can guard Montrezl Harrell.
That's the only thing with Montrezl is he's small. He's like 6'8".
Yeah, 6'9".
6'8", 6'9". Which
I think Dwight Howard could guard him.
Oh,
I'm surprised you're not starting Dwight, personally, but...
He started tonight. He had his first start of the season. I think he had like 22 or something, or like 22 minutes or something. He had a good game.
Well, that was a game yesterday, probably.
Yeah, it was probably yesterday.
Yeah, he had 14 and 12 and 22 minutes.
Yeah. He's been playing well, man. I honestly, like, even though he is playing, I like him more than JaVale McGee. I like Dwight Howard coming off the bench just because I think he gels better with that second unit. And then if he needs to play with LeBron and AD, he can. But I think he prefers kind of coming off the bench and playing that role a little bit more.
All right, let's have one last honorable mention.
And then we can move on to a few other smaller topics here.
Real quick here. Another Chicago guy. His name plays for Detroit. Derrick Rose. He's had 13 straight games with 20 points, something like that.
Do we really? Okay, because I have Derrick Rose as a talking point on our document here.
Oh, cool.
He will have to skip a couple, but come back to him. Do you think he's gonna get traded?
Yes, but I don't think he's getting traded to the Lakers.
Where do you think he's going? Because I've seen him linked to the Sixers and the Lakers.
I can see him going to the Philadelphia 76ers.
For who? Because I can see Kuz being flipped for Derrick Rose. And the thing I want to mention this too. I don't know if I've told you this. Is Derrick Rose going to the Lakers? I don't know how well it would actually fit, but it would be the perfect thing for me. Mainly being all the people who are hating the Lakers right now can't hate the Lakers anymore, because who doesn't want to see Derrick Rose win a championship? Who doesn't want to see Derrick Rose with a Larry O'Brien trophy in his hand? And if he's in a Laker jersey, well, I guess that's how it had to be. And LeBron gets another ring. AD gets a ring. Dwight Howard gets a ring. How can you hate this Lakers team, bro? How? It makes no sense. That's my spiel. Continue.
You know who doesn't get a ring in that scenario?
Who?
Kuzma.
Yeah, no, we messed up not trading Kuzma in that Pelicans trade. Dude, imagine if we had BI still on this team.
Or Lonzo.
You know what? I'm glad.
No.
I'm glad Lonzo's gone. I hate Lonzo. And that trade wasn't getting done if Lonzo wasn't involved. Plus, I don't think Lonzo would have blossomed into what he is if he'd stayed in LA. I think the spotlight was too big for him.
Even if you guys had Josh Hart on this team.
For real, I honestly forgot Josh Hart existed, bro.
He gets like 10 rebounds consistently. It's weird.
He's a dog, bro. He's got, dare I say it, heart.
You can talk about DeMar, but like...
No.
You still DeMar.
No.
D'Lo hasn't played enough games. Westbrook
Zion Williamson for All-Star 2020.
Honestly, if he had played like a week earlier,
he would have gotten votes. Yeah, that's the sad thing. That's the thing is like, I meme on Alex Cruz all the time, and I think he's funny to watch. I think he's actually like a good player. I don't think he gets enough credit for that. But the fact that he ended fourth in All-Star voting for the West, and he was higher guys than like Russell Westbrook. He was higher. I think he was higher than Dame, or was Dame 3? He was close to Damian Lillard, is all I'm saying.
Or can we talk about the fact that Steph Curry had a shit ton of votes? And
yeah.
He only played 4 games.
It's like, bro, like, what are you doing? Like, what is his vote? I'm just happy that they've changed it where, because I remember a couple years ago when Zaza was almost a, my guy, when he was almost a starter.
A cheap shot?
Yeah.
Actually, no. I want to praise Zaza because if Zaza didn't hurt Kawhi Leonard, he wouldn't have came to the Raptors. So thanks, Zaza. Shout out to you.
But if Zaza hadn't injured Kawhi, then the Warriors wouldn't have won that championship, or wouldn't have made it to the finals. Because that was when Kawhi was still on the Spurs, and he was just like, once you like, I can't remember what the exact scores and like the point in the series it was. But the Spurs had that handedly. And then as soon as why are you yawning? It's only 12:40 in the morning. It's fine. We're not doing this podcast super late. What do you mean?
No, I think it's more important that Kawhi went to the Raptors than the Warriors winning, because they would have probably won championships.
Says the Raptors fan.
Hey, hold on.
How dare you? Well, it was pretty important.
Well, I mean, it was kind of freaky, but it was
No, Kevin Durant. They totally would have won if Kevin Durant and Klay Thompson were healthy. Totally. They were that good of a team. They were not that good of a team. They wouldn't, Mike, if you try and convince me right now that Raptors team was going to beat Katie and Clay healthy, I would tell you you're full of shit.
What if Norman Powell?
Mike, are you saying Norman Powell is equivalent to Kevin Durant?
No.
Is that what you're trying to argue to me right now?
No. I'm trying to argue that Norman Powell is a beast right now.
No.
Okay.
No one else is a beast. Kevin Durant. No one else is a beast. Klay Thompson.
Yeah.
There was no way in hell that Raptors team was going to win. Zero chance.
If it was just Clay, we won the series with Clay for most of the series. So.
Yeah, but Clay's not an MVP level talent. He's an all-star. But Kevin Durant's one of the top 2 players in the league right now.
You know what I hate? Draymond Green. Even more. Now that he sucks.
Draymond sucks. Draymond's terrible.
I've never seen somebody peak and then die so fast.
It really shows how much he needs other superstars on his team. Because when he has to do anything by himself, he just looks terrible.
Well, that's the thing. It's like, even with other stars, he didn't look that good.
No.
And people were like, oh, he's an all-star.
People are like, oh, he's the motor. He's the thing that keeps that team running. He's the motor. He's the motor. And I was like, no, he's not.
No, he's not Steph.
Steph is.
Anyway,
Whatever. All right. Quick little topic. Not that there's too much information on it right now, but I just want to mention quickly that Delonte West video that surfaced.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like, I don't know how you go, and I heard somewhere that he kind of had struggled with like some like mental health issues like before, but I don't know how you go from being. I think he was on that Cavs team that went to the Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, because he had sexual relations with LeBron's mom.
Is that real? Did that actually happen, or was that just like a meme that people were making?
I don't really know. I hope it is, just for the sake of it being funny.
Because that would be hilarious if that actually happened. Because I see that all the time, and be like, oh, like LeBron slept with LeBron, or Delonte slept with LeBron's mom, and every time I see them, it's like, did that happen? Like, was that a real thing that happened? Because I hope to God it is, because that would be the funniest thing I've ever heard. But it's going back to all serious note, like it's kind of sad what's happened, and I saw that LeBron was willing to quote donate as much money as he possibly could to help him out, which I think is a good thing. Look out for your
former teammates.
Not even former teammates, just like former NBA players. Shut up.
Wait, baby daddy would be his. I mean that Hubie.
So anyways, moving on to a more basketball-related topic, I guess. With the NBA trade deadline coming up. Why are you yawning? It's not even that late. Who do you see being dealt at the trade deadline?
All right.
Give me like the top 3.
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say the same thing. We'll go back and forth 3 people.
Yeah.
So the first
3
person,
people each, or 3 people just in general? Okay.
I think the first person who's going to get traded is kind of obvious, and I think that it's Derrick Rose. I think he deserves to be traded. I think that the Pistons already said if he wants to be traded to a contender, that the Pistons would do it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
So I just think
I don't think it's impossible not to like Derrick Rose.
Yeah, his
Like,
comeback story is just too unbelievable.
Yeah. Like, you can't not like the guy. My pick that I think is going to be the most obvious, another guy out of Detroit, Andre Drummond. I don't know where he's going to land. I don't know where he should land. But I just know he's not going to be playing for Detroit at the end of the season.
I just want to remember us going back from last episode of us saying that the Hawks shouldn't trade for him. Something.
I don't think he should end up on the Hawks. I don't know who he's going to go to. But I guess we will find out when is the trade deadline? Do you know? I want to say something like 2 weeks. Trade deadline. What do you got for me, Google? February 6th. So about like a week and a half before the trade deadline.
All right, next person who's going to get traded is Marcus Morris Sr.
Okay.
He's averaging 19 points a game.
What makes you think he's going to get traded?
Because I just think that this Knicks team's going to sell and try to get picks. So I think you could probably get a second out of Marcus Morris. And I just think that this team wants to get younger, and I don't think Marcus Morris Sr. is the way to do it.
Yeah, no, I'm with you on that one. I think the Knicks still have, like, the way they kind of made all their signings in the offseason is they still have 2 max spots open for 2021 free agency, I think. So they're still trying to get a free agent in New York. I don't think it's going to work. But, like, they're trying. They're trying their absolute hardest. Dude, imagine that. So
Julius Randle didn't pan out for them the way they wanted him to. They wanted him to be a 25-year scorer. He just hasn't been that.
No, he hasn't.
He's only averaging 18.
So next, again, we kind of talked about his name being linked with Derrick Rose. Kuzmania, Kyle Kuzma.
He's going to the Kings.
The Kings for Bogdanovic?
Yeah. That's my opinion.
I'd be okay with that, honestly. I just think the thing with like Kuz is like I feel like he like in theory has more trade value than actually does, because he's still fairly young. Like he's still in his like early to mid 20s. Like he's a very young player and he still has lots of career left. But I just think because the way the Lakers are is they're just they've always just been a very win now team. They're not really about. I can't remember the last time that they actually like developed a young player to like a superstar on their team, like Andrew Bynum, if we can like kind of like classify it, and that's the only person I can think of.
Pau Gasol was already developed,
and they traded for Pau.
Kobe was already a god.
Yeah, so if we want to go back to like I mean obviously Kobe, but like that was almost 25 years ago. So yeah, so the Lakers have just never been a team that have developed young guys. I think that's why a lot of guys leave and become superstars, i.e. Brandon Ingram, D'Angelo Russell, Lonzo to an extent, I guess. Yeah, so I think the Lakers are, especially with LeBron and AD on the team, like they're just trying to.
What about Kuzma for Harrison?
God, no. I don't want that contract on our books.
I was thinking, how does Kuzma trade would work for the Kings? Because, like, if you want Kuzma, you don't want him coming off the bench. I guess you could start him instead of Bjelica. But Bjelica's been great this season.
The one thing I saw, and I know he played the position in college, is I don't know if they've already done it or they're thinking of doing it, is have Kuzma start for the Lakers at small forward.
I'm surprised they don't do that anyway.
No, like everyone knows it. Like Kuz isn't starting over Anthony Davis, that's for sure. So, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I just don't think he fits with the Lakers.
Yeah, right.
But moving on.
My last person, who I'm going to choose as a dark horse trade candidate.
Are we doing dark horse for these last
For
round
the
here?
last one, I'm going to go with DeMar DeRozan. I think the Spurs team is going to sell, and I think that trading DeMar, and I actually have a prediction. I think he's going to trade him to the Magic for Aaron Gordon.
That's something that has not crossed my mind, but it makes sense, sort of.
Well, Popovich gets a.
For like, is it just a 1-for-1 deal, or are the Magic giving up picks as well?
The Magic would have to give up at least a second.
Because I was gonna say I don't know if that's enough for just 1-1, but like you could see it happening with like a second or two, or like 1 or 2 seconds.
I feel like Aaron Gordon needs a new scenery. I think that the Spurs is perfect for him, unless Pop leaves this year.
Yeah.
I just think they can probably change his career back around to what he was last year.
DeMar's just a weird case because he is a guy that can play on the championship team. He's just never going to be a first option. I just think that's it's just gonna.
In the last 2 weeks though.
But the Spurs aren't. I just don't think he's a good player. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't think he's ever going to be a first option. He'd be a hell of a second option. But and then my last pick, sort of a dark horse, not really. And I don't have a specific player in mind, but I think somebody from the Thunder. Whether that be the obvious choice would be Chris Paul. I don't think that's going to happen, but I could see Gallinari. I could see Steven Adams.
I can see Steven Adams getting traded. Because he's been underperforming this year. But the thing is,
I honestly think the only guy on that Thunder team that's untouchable is Shea.
Yeah.
I'd say he's the only guy on that entire roster who's untouchable right now. And even then, I feel like if an offer presented itself, then they might. But I don't see an offer like that happening.
And Andre Robertson, he's very untouchable.
He's a. If we're talking in terms of 2K, he is a 5-star player.
You're talking.
Andre Robertson for Giannis straight up. Would you take it? Yes or no?
Yeah, dude.
If you're the Bucks, that's a steal, bro.
You're. I mean, he's doing well somewhere. He's doing well off the court. I'll tell you that much.
Legend status. Do we have time for more topics? What time are we at right now? What's the?
We're at 55. We could probably go. I could probably split this into 2 podcasts if we wanted to.
I just have one other quick thing that I want to talk about, and then we can kind of wrap her up.
Okay, cool.
If we're cool with that. I just want to talk about this Portland Trailblazers team because I've been a fan of this Trailblazers team basically since they drafted Damian Lillard. But it is not working this year. So like, obviously Dame is not the issue. Scoring 61 on MLK Day on Monday, I think. And then averaging and got another like 40 game after that, and like
47
he's been on a tear. But apparently everyone else on the team has forgotten how to play the game of basketball.
CJ McCollum's injured. Nurkic is injured.
The fact that you have a 35-year-old Melo as your second option, pretty much. Yikes!
I just realized something.
What?
We didn't even talk about Kevin Love being traded.
I feel like Kevin Love's a given though.
Yeah, true.
Like I just feel like that's not even something that like you need to really talk about. Kevin Love's being traded.
Where? We don't know.
No idea. Potentially the Portland Trailblazers. Probably not. I hope not, but we'll see. And then the other thing I saw, because I follow the Trailblazers on Instagram, is Jusuf Nurkic participated in his first full contact practice this week. So I think they said he's aiming for a mid-February comeback, I believe. Mid to late February comeback. So the thing I want to know, and I'm going to be interested to see how it works, is because Whiteside's been actually playing pretty decently on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know how him and Nurkic are going to split minutes. I don't know if one of them's going to play power forward.
I would put Nurkic as a power forward. Just the way he playmates as a power forward could work.
But I don't. The way the NBA is kind of gone is you kind of need a guy who is like sort of like a small forward, just a taller small forward, a power forward. Yeah, or like Sabonis is a good example of that. And I just don't see Nurk doing that very well. No, he can't. I just don't see how that experiment. As soon as the Trailblazers got Whiteside in the offseason, I knew what they were doing because they knew they needed somebody for the majority of the season to replace Nurk. So I understood why they acquired him. But now that the time has come back for Nurk to return, I don't know how that team is gonna.
Well, that's where the Hassan Whiteside for Kevin Love trade makes sense.
Yeah, no relating it back to that. Because, I mean, Kevin Love is the epitome of a guy who can stretch the floor and play inside, play outside. But, yeah, so I guess we'll have to wait and see. I really don't have any answers. I threw out a whole bunch of questions and didn't answer a single one of them.
Well,
but, you know.
If they don't trade Whiteside, I think you bench Whiteside and make Nurkic. I think you take a couple weeks and make Nurkic the bench player and see how they both play. And then see how that goes, just because Nurkic obviously is the obvious answer to bring off the bench immediately because he has been hurt for so long.
Yeah, correct.
And then if you don't want Whiteside anymore, you trade him for Kevin Love. I think that's just the easiest thing to do. Or you find a trade for...
What if the Cavs don't want this on Whiteside?
Honestly, though, it makes sense for them, too, because you throw Whiteside into your line. He's only there for a year. You get rid of him at the end of the year. He's playing well, so he's going to play well for you. And honestly, you can probably trade Tristan Thompson during the trade deadline too.
Yeah, we'll see how that Cavs team is just a sinking ship though. You'll feel bad for the young guys, like, because they just feels pretty. It feels pretty hopeless, that situation that's going on right there. But
kind of package do you think they could get for CJ McCollum?
For CJ, what do you think they'd be looking for? Think they'd be looking for another shooting guard?
Probably.
Dude, okay, I don't see this happening, but this is a huge hypothetical. I think it'd be interesting. What about CJ and a collection of picks for Ben Simmons?
Play Ben Simmons the power.
What are we thinking about that? Because that actually just crossed my mind. Because that works for the Sixers as well.
So then they bring in a shooting guard.
Yeah.
They bring in. That's the thing. Who plays point guard for that team? Trey Burke.
I guess it's a hole that would open up. But, like, or even, like, Josh Richardson could play point guard, maybe.
True. He did play point guard a bit in Miami.
Yeah.
I think ideal I was thinking of, this is not going to, like, this is probably, well, it's not a bad idea. Trading CJ McCollum for, like, the DeMar DeRozan, bring him in, have him be the second or third option.
You really think DeMar's going to get traded, don't you?
Yeah, I really do. Again.
That literally didn't even cross my mind until you brought it up, but now I'm just kind of like, oh, shit, yeah.
Like, if you think about it, he's a mid-range shooter. Second or third, you can be the second option, you can be the third option behind Nurk, it doesn't really matter which one he is. He can just be like a second or third option. He can do his thing. Dame can do his thing. Dame can set him up.
Yeah, that's a interesting take right there.
Here's what you do: you trade Whiteside for Love. You trade McCollum for DeRozan.
Because you really that team needs to be blown up. Like I think everybody except Dame can be traded. I don't think Nurkic is going to be traded, but everybody else can be traded. So.
Terry Stotts is too good of a coach to be where he is.
That is that Portland Trailblazers, the way that team is run, and just like the players that they've had over the past couple of years, is too good to never. I mean, they made it to the Western Conference Finals last year, but like for whatever reason, I don't really count that because like it just kind of felt like they didn't play like the best of teams to get there. But I don't know. I guess we'll find out in the coming weeks. But I think that just about wraps things up for us tonight. It is now 1 a.m. and I need to go get some sleep because holy shit, I am tired.
You have to get an Uber. I can walk like 20 steps. I didn't get my keys from Justin.
Does that mean you're locked out of your room?
I thought it was my door unlocked. Yeah, I did because I didn't have my keys this morning.
Huh?
Didn't have my keys.
Well, I guess you guys will hear the part 2 to this story next week when we come back. Mike might be homeless though. So, anyways, thank you guys for tuning in this week. I know this was a bit of a longer one as well, so appreciate you guys sticking through it to the end. If literally a single person is still watching this, yeah. So until next time, this has been Noah and Mike for the Halfcourt podcast. Checking out.
See ya.
Peace.